We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are here in our 5th episode in our 3rd season.
You got that right.
In 2023.
Nice job.
With you and me and everybody.
Yeah.
This is great.
It is great. I can't believe we're still doing it.
I know, it's fun.
People still watch. It's amazing.
I know they do still watch. But the funny thing is, and the reason I said before we went on camera is, why did you order 500 extra large t-shirts?
What are you talking about?
Those t-shirts over there are all extra larges in that bag.
Well, I ordered a lot of shirts. We just gave all the other ones away. We don't know that many large people. Well, maybe we should.
No, I'm just asking. The reason is because B. Holtzclaw out there, I apologize that I haven't gotten her t-shirt to her.
It's my fault, apparently.
Because we only have extra large, and I know you, and you need a medium. So we're going to get a new
Maybe
order.
she wants, we could give her a belt, too, and she could have, a dress.
B, would you like a belt? I don't think she's Irish. She doesn't want a belt.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Let's
talk about what's going on now. I just thought I'd talk about that. So you just got back from Chat.
Yeah, got back from Chattahoochee. It was a wet, cold weekend. But I will say they did everything they could do. The cross-country ground, I thought, on Saturday was actually very good. So it was a good event.
So that's good. But I did hear that they must have been making a movie somewhere because there was gunshots all over the place.
Yeah, there was
Was there a movie going on?
I don't think so.
All I know is we're watching Leslie Law go down the center line, and all of a sudden we hear, boo, 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 boo.
Yeah, no, somebody was shooting. I think it was more likely one of the local yokels shooting.
Really? Because usually, one time we were there and they had a movie with a plane crash right there.
Yeah, no, there was no. Look, it's a big property, but I don't think
there
was.
It's 8,000 acres.
Yeah, I don't think there was any.
So nothing. Okay.
No, it was just.
Honestly,
Honestly, it was just the rednecks shooting guns.
How did you do? Well, do you really want to call them rednecks?
Yeah, it's totally acceptable.
Okay.
They were rednecks, I'm
it's
sure.
South Atlanta. I guess you're right.
They were. I guarantee you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know these things.
You're a swamp neck.
I'm a redneck, and I
know.
No,
it's a swamp neck.
What's the difference?
Well, swamp necks and rednecks are way different. It's like you've got fishing poles and nets, and you go after alligators and
That's
stuff like that.
That's not me. No, I'm a Wisconsin, country redneck.
Okay.
That's as redneck as
I
they
didn't know
come.
there's rednecks in
yeah,
Wisconsin.
there's rednecks everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
That was a segue off of how.
Anyway, it has nothing to do with horses. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
No, the event was good. I had 2 horses up there. I had my Just My Style horse, and he was good. Had a difficult combination early on the course, and we had a little glance off, which was disappointing. But
look, I'm proud of you.
But he got it done.
I'm not to cut you off because I was watching when that division started.
Yep.
And I mean, right off the bat, there was like 6 horses.
Yeah.
Leslie Law was one of them.
Yep.
So I was like, what's going on?
There was enough to do for sure, and it was, that horse is kind of hot or cold, so the fact that he went out and we had a little mistake early and then
kept going,
he was able to get going again, I was pretty proud of him.
Good.
So.
That's a big hill for you. That's good.
Yeah. So
then
you have to take the victories where you can get them.
Is it Chopin? How do you Fernhill?
Fernhill Copain, which is really funny because everybody thinks when they hear him announce that it's Fernhill Cocaine, which, if you know Kurt, kind of makes sense, to be honest. You could go that way.
Go that way?
No, Fernhill Copain, and he was great. He
his first 2-star?
Second 2-star.
Okay.
And jumped around really well. And
good.
And again, I think it's very easy to go to an event, and if the ground isn't good, sort of say, oh, I'm going to save them for another day, it's too wet or whatnot. And I think you learn so much about the horses when you go out and you run in conditions that maybe aren't what you would consider perfect. And
well, to Jimmy Wofford's memory, he would be proud of you because he would wish for rain.
Yeah, well, and honestly, I would always prefer to run in mud over firm ground. Sure. I hate running on hard ground. I think it's really hard on the horses. I think that's, in my experience with my horses, been when I've had the worst injuries when I've run on ground that's too hard and they get slipping and sliding. And mud, as long as it's consistently muddy and not too sticky and holding, I find they run just fine in it. And I was really proud of both of these horses because they went out there. Again, it wasn't horrendous mud,
Right,
but
right.
it was mud. It wasn't like Buccalo mud, but it was mud. And they were great. They
Good.
ran awesome.
Well, I was, like I said, I think I texted you. I did something.
Yep.
But also, shout out to Leslie Law. He went out there and won the advance.
They won the advanced on Splash.
I mean, great.
Yeah. And the horse looked awesome. He was
Right.
he was on form, had a nice dressage test, and jumped 2 beautiful rounds.
And if I'm pulling from memory, I think Jenny Cross on the Fernhill horse was first in the 3-star.
Yeah, that could be right.
No, I
shouldn't-
know I'm right.
Okay, you're right.
Trendy Fernhill.
Yep, there you go.
So good call out to her. I don't remember the others, but then what happened on Sunday, because I heard there was just torrential downpour of rain. And
Yeah, so funny about that is when we set the schedule out early in the year, I was talking to all my students and
Peeps.
clients and like, this is where we're going to go, and you guys should all go to this. And one of my students, Sherry Pound, said, okay, I'll go. So she enters a preliminary, and then last week she's a little bit like, why am I going to this? It's a horse trial. I could be 30 minutes from my house. And I said, oh, you got to go. Chat's great. You're going to love it. It's a different venue. We need to see different types of properties and get exposure. It's going to be really good for you. So she goes, and then she's like, well, I go Sunday and you're done Saturday. Are you sure you want to stick around? I'm like, Sherry, I told you to go. Of course I'm going to stick around. Anyway, it poured. poor Sherry's like, thanks, John. Really
So,
thrilled I came.
I did notice they had to call it.
Yeah, they let the preliminary and the intermediate jump
Right.
if they wanted to and you needed the MER. But the cross country, there was
There's
no
no way.
way. They couldn't
think-
I don't think they could have, honestly, out to the back, I don't think you could have gotten
Well,
an
the lower
ambulance out there.
divisions did show jump on Saturday, and they were supposed to do cross country on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, but I guarantee you the reason they didn't run is that they could not have gotten emergency equipment out on course.
That I mean, it is in a floodplain.
Yep.
So,
the one side of it is for sure, and that's where they started that division.
Well, where's your next go?
Well, I run this weekend at Ocala because I like to run every single weekend. So I run at Ocala, and then
Ocala's this weekend?
yeah, same as Carolina. So I go Ocala, and then Terra Nova, and then Ocala again.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
and so you guys leave
We
for
leave
Carolina.
4 in the morning for Carolina.
Right.
Lisa has the Renkum Corsairs doing his first 4-star, and then she's doing Telemori Fifi and the new one. What's that one's name? I should know that one's name. B.
You're going to be in so much trouble.
And, no, I do know that. Anyway, they're doing 2-star, and
Right.
Briggs is doing the Pony and the Black Horse 3-star.
Awesome. Good luck.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. It's exciting. It's the first FEI of the season, so.
So I always think it's it's interesting, right? Because we always seem to choose different events to go to.
I mean, we're together enough.
Yeah, no, we try to avoid each other. So, but plus it gives us great coverage for all the events.
That's true.
Yeah, but what is it that makes you like to go up to Carolina? I mean, it's a beautiful place, obviously. So there's got
Yeah,
to be
Carolina has always, we've always had good result at Carolina.
right.
It's a really, I mean, Jay Murray's not there anymore, but they still carry on with a great venue. I think new sponsors taking over this season, but we always get sponsor tent and they have great food and, sometimes it's super cold.
Yep.
But there's a lot of tents.
Yep.
We stay warm. I think we just like the overall.
And is Ian still the designer?
Yep.
So Ian Stark still designs, and the courses are nice.
Yeah.
He's obviously a great designer there.
They're tough and they're nice, but and the footing they've worked, really hard on the footing there, and we just have great results there.
And do they still make you go around behind the pond like they used to do?
No.
No. Okay.
We don't go behind the pond anymore.
Cool.
Nope.
Well-
But they did open up a whole nother section. But you don't go behind the pond.
Right. And then you guys camper it there?
We do. We're in Lot B with a big camper, and then
So that's going to be, so Lot B, for anybody who's there who wants to go party
Yep,
with the John and
Lot
Rick
B.
show. Rick is hosting a party every night. Every night there's going to be a party.
Briggs will cook, and
Yeah, Briggs is going to cook, so that's good. For the compliments of the John and Rick show.
then in Ocala, what are you going to do?
Nothing.
Back and forth?
Nothing.
So they can show up at your house?
Nope.
Well, it's been this show is going to be really good. We've got some great guests.
Yep. So we've got Clayton Fredericks.
Yep.
And then I catch up with Lillian Hurd Wood now.
When did you get married? Congratulations, Lillian.
I think it was like a year ago, but
Was
yeah.
it?
Yeah. So we catch up with her up at Chattahoochee because she actually had a really great run on an awesome thoroughbred horse, and we're going to get to meet him.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, here we go. We're going to take a little break and get on with Clayton next.
Yes. Awesome.
All right.
Want to advertise on the John and Rick Show? Contact John at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Hey, it's John here. I just want to let you guys know I got back from schooling at Magnolia Sands Farm here in Ocala, Florida. Their cross-country field is perfectly suited for a first outing on a young horse or schooling your upper-level horse. Magnolia Sands offers over 110 jumps ranging from starter to intermediate, plus multiple banks, ditches, and waters. They're constantly updating their courses and have even added new ditches and a starter ditch wall. Conveniently located in Northeast Ocala, Magnolia Sands has made it easy for riders and trainers with online waivers, Venmo, and PayPal, and even offer a golf cart for guests. MagnoliaSandsFarm.com. Dusty Rose Farm, a beautiful and newly renovated 25-acre farm, is offering long-term or seasonal rent, dry stalls, and layover. Located in Anthony, Florida, it's just 30 minutes to both Weck and Hits, 15 minutes to Majestic Oaks, 35 minutes to the Florida Horse Park. 38 stalls available for rent in 2 barns that have all the amenities. Large stalls with new mats and automatic waters. Plenty of turnout, a half-mile irrigated track, 300 by 300 natural sand arena with a full jump course and dressage court. Loads of parking with 2 full RV hookups. Call or text for rates to book your stay in sunny and warm Ocala, Florida. 636-751-1200. Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are here with the one and only Mr. Clayton Fredericks. Clayton, thanks for coming in.
No worries, John. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
thanks for being here.
No problem.
So we tried to have you on previously, but you are an incredibly busy man and difficult to get, so we stuck with it and got you, so I'm thankful for that. So what we wanted to start with was the FEI meeting,
I
right?
think we should go back to that. Yeah. So we had the show that a couple shows ago we were talking about the FEI and what came out of that. So why don't you hit us with what your take on what's going on and happening at the last meeting in Paris?
Well, first of all, the exciting part about it was we were in Jardy, which is very close to Versailles, and the venue for the Olympic Games, obviously.
Right.
And we all went to, for a little tour and got to see where the course was going to go. And I don't know, had you got there, John?
No, I missed it by
John
about...
decided he didn't want to go.
Yeah,
I missed it by about 30 minutes. Actually, funny story. I was getting there. I was going to just catch the tail end of it, and then I got a text message from... I don't even know if I should say her name. I don't want to cause problems. I got a text message from an American who was there for the USEF who slipped and fell off of the wagon and hurt her knee, and I had to go to the drugstore and get her.
Yes, of course.
Get her,
that's
get her
right.
stuff, get her knees, and
I can't.
Well,
my name's gone as well.
it's not for me. It's not for me, but I don't want to get her in trouble.
It was a very innocent.
Yes.
Was a very innocent slip and fall, but I think those that get to compete in Versailles are going to be absolutely ecstatic about the venue. I think it's going to be fantastic. Typically, French seems like they've got a lot of work to do in that time, but I'm sure it'll all
It
come
always
off.
seems like that when we're coming up for anything.
Yeah, yes, well, that's right. None could be worse than the experience in Tryon, but I'm hoping that's never to be repeated again. But,
I was going to say, you made an implication it was a French thing. And then I was like, well, maybe it's a Latin American thing. And I was like, actually, it's an American thing, too.
yeah, I think, I think any time you take on a venue of that importance, and you try to convert it into a horse competition venue.
Right.
There's a lot of work and a lot of unseen.
Because it's a
things.
park, right? It's almost a castle. Is that right?
It's a palace.
Right.
It's a vast amount of land that they've got there, which is literally all park. Fantastic big causeway crossings over the big water.
They still to
ponds that
finish
they
a bridge or something. Is that right?
Yeah, they're going to have a bridge over one and a water crossing through one. So,
Wow.
nice. a very big. They're converting, which was a fountain and is due for an upgrade. They're converting that into one of the water jumps. So I think it's going to be a fantastic venue. They're going to have some great photos of our sport. You couldn't have a better venue, really. So
Who's course designing?
Pierre Legoupiel, and actually, he's their family farm used to have an event, Martin Vast, and it was a great event for us to go. It was just in Cherbourg. Mm-hmm. There we used to catch the ferry over, and literally half an hour from the ferry is this event. And we've had some really good times there. The band I was in, Snatch, we've played there several times.
That's kind of cool.
And I think we finished playing at 3 o'clock, and I was on dressage at 8 o'clock in the morning. So,
How was that test?
well, actually, it was interesting because it was so foggy in the morning.
It didn't really matter.
I couldn't see the judge from the one end of the arena, so I don't know if they could see me from the other end. But anyway.
I've done that before, where it's so foggy you can't even see the other end.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I've done it. You helped me when I did it.
This is true.
Yeah.
But Pierre's got a great flair and a really good feel for course design. And
What is he known for? What is he known
He does
for?
lineaires.
Okay.
Harris Depin.
Uh-huh.
He actually gave me my first ever course designing job. I did the 1 star there at Harris Depin. So,
Well, there you go.
he's I think they're going to produce a really, really good course there. So.
Excellent. So you got to go on the tour. John missed it because he was helping a fellow American.
Yeah. And I was a little late, too.
Well, that's normal.
Yeah, exactly.
So the FEI meeting itself, I know there's a lot of talk about different things that's coming about. What did you take away from it? I know I saw you not long after that. I think we were at Meg Kemp's or somewhere jumping. Mm-hmm. What was your takeaway?
Well, I think the takeaway is that we do have this social license that.
That was the big word.
That was the big
Social
word.
license. We have a T-shirt that says that.
Yeah, we should. But I think in life in general, like everyone's under a lot of pressure from the public to act in accordance and be very correct.
Yep.
That's putting pressure on the sport, not only from our day-to-day sport, but from an Olympic Games situation. Mm-hmm. They had some survey that's been going on through the FEI, which essentially, has the general public has a pretty poor opinion of how we treat the horses and things.
But that was not eventing specific, was it? That was
It
all
wasn't eventing
horse sports.
specific. It was all horse sports. But obviously we, I mean, I think when it comes down to it, it showed that it's all the care of the horse, and we've got to maybe do a better job as a sport and as a group of people that are involved in this fantastic horse world, to show that our priorities are looking after the horses, our priorities are the horses' welfare, and that's what we do on a day-to-day basis, and you've got to push that message out, I suppose, and show people in how we're responsible for what we do.
And I agree with that, but so when we look at what changes are being made, is that to regulate how we think it's going to be viewed by these people that have an opinion that we aren't?
When you say the changes, what are you specifically talking about? Because really the things that were coming up, and you got to remember a lot of that is pushed by the committee that you're on, John, which is
the Risk Management
Steering Group.
Yep. It's more of a group than a committee.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is pushed from that end, and I see certainly the chairman of that group, being very, very keen to drastically reduce the number of horse falls and those injuries.
And that's Jeff Sinclair.
Yeah, we've had Jeff on the show, and I think that, part of that is, I think that does lead into one of the things. I think the conversation was how they were going to implement so many horse and rider falls over a period of time, and then getting...
Well, they set targets.
Targets on it.
And
right.
Basically the whole idea is what's acceptable and what's not. And,
right.
What I think we should do, because I want to get into this, I actually have a question about it for you, Clayton, because you're the guest, so we thought we'd get your opinion on this. Yeah. Let's take a break, and then I want to get back and talk about the social license and talk about the Olympics and talk about the sport and where you think it should be going.
Sure.
All right, so Let's take a break, and we will be right back. Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Hi, my name's Leslie Law, and we are a proud supporter of Jump for Joy. We've been using their portable cross-country jumps now for about 10 to 15 years. We love these jumps because, as you can see, they're very easy to move. I would only take another person on the other side, and I could place this fence wherever I wanted to very easily.
Rick Wallace here, bringing you Equibrew, a live probiotic that is geared to help your horse's gut health. I'm a true believer in this Equibrew, and it really makes a difference in all of my horses. Equibrew is safe, non-toxic, and clean sport compliant for FEI and racing events. Equibrew is an intact fermentation product with very high numbers of beneficial microbes. Order at equibrew.com or 850-879-2649. Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are still here with Clayton Fredericks, and we are going to get into the meat of things in this segment. John, I know you've got a hot question you want to ask him.
Well, I don't know if it's a hot question, but it just sort of going off of what we were talking about with the social license thing and changes in the sport. I've asked this question on here before to other people, and we may have even talked about it, but it seems to me that really the main issue with our sport is that we are trying, on one hand, to push our sport forward, keep it in the Olympic Games, make it a more profitable, popular sport so that we can all continue to enjoy it and love it and have the sport grow. and at the same time trying to preserve what eventing is and not lose the heart of eventing being cross country and the excitement and adrenaline rush of it all. And so I guess my question to you is, how do you think we balance that? Like, are the Olympics such a priority that we have to be there? Or is there a line where we say, right, we want to be there, but not at the expense of this?
Yeah, I think that's a really it's a tough question, because I have had the benefit of being involved in the team side of things, both as a coach and a rider, obviously, and had the goal of wanting to be so in the Australian team and part of that, and you know, it's that ultimate it's the ultimate thing for a rider or any person, to be honest, to be a part of an Olympic team.
Sure.
Everyone knows when you tell them that you're an Olympian, you've been to an Olympics and you've got a medal from the Olympics, everyone is impressed and they know what that means. Try telling the average person what our sport is about is a different matter. You know, you really have to go into explaining it. You know, it's equestrian. I always use the analogy that it's more like a triathlon of horse sport.
It's the easiest way to go. Yeah.
And so, you know, getting back to the question, you know, I've had the benefit of that, but I also could see that if we want to make our sport viable in the future, I think a professional going in a more professional direction, which isn't necessarily the Olympic target, could be highly beneficial. Because at the moment we're so constrained by federation involvement and etc.
Sure.
It's very hard to, with the commercial rights being held by the FEI, but no commercial gain given to events. In fact, it's all a bit more of taking than a giving. I think there could be some opening for our sport in a more professional direction, maybe similar to Formula One or something else. So how do we? You asked how we balance. I think it's very difficult.
But even if you did
that, will go that way until maybe the worst thing happens, that we're actually out of the Olympic Games.
But even if you did that, you're still putting yourself out there for the general public to be critical of what you do.
And circling back to all of that, I think no matter which way things go in the future, I think we really do have to head down the track of making the sport super safe. No one really cares. Actually, the funny thing was, no one really cares if the riders are getting hurt. They do care if horses are getting hurt.
Right.
So, you know, and we do know that the frangible fences, knockdown fences, does reduce that drastically. Being one of the younger course designers that's coming through at the top level, I'm pretty open to the fact that we could be moving in that direction. I don't think I'm holding on to, oh my God, but it's not the tradition of the sport.
So do you think that's going to happen? Do you think we're going to get to a place where in our careers we go out and, other than ditches, banks, and water, that we have 100% frangible fences?
I think quite realistically we could be heading that way. I feel the good course designers can mitigate the risks in quite a few ways. It's not just down to course fence construction.
Right.
Although we have come, you know, in the last few years, we know so much more about that. But yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world, I don't think, if that's the way it goes, because if you look at the sport, our dressage has improved immensely. You know, at one point when the flying changes first came in, you know, Mary King at Badminton did a trot simple chain, you know, because she just wasn't going to go there with a horse that had never really been trained down that direction. You know, if you just could do almost fluff the change, you know, that was great. Now it's got to be true, it's got to be expressive, it's got to be clean, you know, and that's just one part of the dressage. The show jumping now, you know, a time fault or you know, one fence down and that can kill it, you know. Yep. So I think all our sport has got better and better and better. And if we now have the chance to create a cross country, which means you have to be technically good as well, and when I say that, you have to jump the fences relatively cleanly. Right. I mean, I don't think frangibles, you know, we've had some issues at different events. Right. But on the whole, I don't think frangibles are making riders, which was what a lot of people thought in the first place, you know, making riders just be crazy at the jumps. Well, I think especially because there's a penalty. I think it's, now that we have a penalty, exactly, I think it's done the exact opposite. I think it's made people more aware of how they shape the horses, how they place the horses at the jumps. So, well, so much so that, not to interrupt, but just as a point to that, so much so that now I know it happens to me, I'm sure it happens to you guys when you're out on course. If I hear my horse hit a jump and I know it's frangible, I have to stop myself from turning around if it's in a combination, and as I'm galloping away, I always turn around and look and see, did I hit it hard enough to knock it down? You are aware of it. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's going to be, you know, just moving on from that, it's going to be the similar thing with the flags.
That's a big topic, yeah.
You know, but at the same time, in a funny way, if they do knock the flag down and they get a penalty for it, that sometimes gives the course designer the opportunity to give them a little bit more room and not have things too tight. Therefore, making it a situation where if they knock it down, it really was a bad jump. Right. And so do you think all of this then is going to make cross country more influential? All these little penalties that we could potentially be getting to. Yeah, I actually do. Right. I think it has the potential for that because, you know, as I said, roll it back years ago, you know, I mean, we used to have the saying, over, under, through, didn't really matter as long as you got over it and standing on the other side. Well, you know, the public doesn't accept that anymore, but B, you know, that's not what we're trying to do. You know, we're trying to create horses that jump things cleanly and not out of control. And yes, of course, we all applauded the heroics of someone who, you know, strangled over the jump and crawled on the landing and things and got away with it in the past. But now, you know, we realise that actually it's not really that safe. And maybe those horses that potentially have the opportunity or they may lead to a nasty fall in the future are being weeded out a little earlier. And everyone says to me, you know, this is going to mean we end up with a show jumping over the cross country. But it's not. It's not. It's still a very, very unique skill to ride at speed, approach a fence, pick up a good stride, and be accurate. You know, and why should you get beaten by the person who can't do the same and scrambled scrambled around and smacked all over every fence, didn't do his horse any harm. I did, you know, manage to keep it together.
Well, let's talk more about that. Can you stay for one more segment? Of course you can.
Absolutely. I'm not going anywhere.
Perfect. We got you.
Good. We'll come right back.
When I'm in the middle of my competition season, it's easy to get behind in my hydration or just feel exhausted. When that happens, I turn to Jumpstart IV Therapy. Jumpstart IV Therapy is a mobile therapy serving the state of Florida. Their team of healthcare professionals are there to help the equestrian athlete feel their best so they can perform their best. Their IV treatment of fluids, vitamins, minerals, and medicines will give you an exclusive advantage on and off your horse. Give them a call at 407-449-0532 or find them on the web at jumpstartivtherapy.com.
Jump for Joy fences are easy to move, lightweight, durable, and low maintenance. So we're out here on the cross country. We just finished over in the show jumping over the Jump for Joy fences. Had a great time schooling over them. They're really nice and easy to move, so we were able to adjust some things and really have the exact school that we needed thanks to the Jump for Joy fences. I love them.
Order yours at jumpforjoyusa.com. Hey, it's John here. I just want to let you guys know I got back from schooling at Magnolia Sands Farm here in Ocala, Florida. Their cross-country field is perfectly suited for a first outing on a young horse or schooling your upper-level horse. Magnolia Sands offers over 110 jumps ranging from starter to intermediate, plus multiple banks, ditches, and waters. They're constantly updating their courses and have even added new ditches and a starter ditch wall. Conveniently located in Northeast Ocala, Magnolia Sands has made it easy for riders and trainers with online waivers, Venmo, and PayPal, and even offer a golf cart for guests. MagnoliaSandsFarm.com. Dusty Rose Farm, a beautiful and newly renovated 25-acre farm, is offering long-term or seasonal rent, dry stalls, and layout. Located in Anthony, Florida, it's just 30 minutes to both Weck and Hits, 15 minutes to Majestic Oaks, 35 minutes to the Florida Horse Park. 38 stalls available for rent in 2 barns that have all the amenities. Large stalls with new mats and automatic waters. Plenty of turnout, a half-mile irrigated track, 300 by 300 natural sand arena with a full jump course and dressage court. Loads of parking with 2 full RV hookups. Call or text for rates to book your stay in sunny and warm Ocala, Florida. 636-751-1200.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. Clayton, thanks for hanging around, and I think this is a really important topic to be talking about because, you know, we talk about the social license that's going on, and I look back a little bit, right? I look back 25 years, 30 years ago when we wanted everybody to know about our sport, right? Nobody knew anything about it. They didn't care. They didn't know about it. The public didn't know about it. Well, now we've jumped forward, and social media has brought us into the light, which is great. But I think to your point, it's hard. In my opinion, it's hard to satisfy the general public about horse welfare when they really don't know what goes into horse welfare. And sometimes that battle is really hard. You know, a lot of them want you to turn your horse loose out in the wild and let it go free. Well, that's the most inhumane thing we could ever do to a horse, right? So how do we we're talking about how everything's changing, right? We're migrating, and I think the way that you have described it could be a good thing, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean for sure. You know, I think the other thing to realize is that actually horse numbers and in the world is actually increased,
right?
And that is purely on the back of horse sport. You know,
exactly.
And if we didn't have that horse sport, what would happen to the horse population? Because there's no use for them. You know.
Well, I mean, definitely the horse has been a very big part of humans for a very long time. And in the 1800s, their life was not that great, you know. And I think to your point now in sport, they're well taken care of. And, you know, I don't want anything to happen to my horse. I mean, we have farms and stalls and we take care of them and vets. And so my question is, though, when we get our sport going the way it's going, how do we navigate this social license to improve the general public? I mean, to me, that's a big mountain to climb. How do we do that?
Well, I think, you know, the best thing we can do is put out some of the, you know, some of the positive stories,
right,
that are there. You know, all the time the social media focuses on the negative side of things.
Right.
And so, it's our job to try to put out positive stories as much as we can.
Well, and you actually did that because I remember, didn't you bring one? I don't know if it was last year or the year before. You were bringing one of your top horses. Might have been. It's been a long time. And he looked like $1 million.
Yeah, absolutely. He's everyone comes to Florida to retire.
Yeah, right.
So he after he'd finished eventing, and he went to his owner that was lived in Hong Kong, and actually she was doing dressage with him, and then I think their daughter, realised how much he loved cantering around the cross country, and I think maybe just overdid it a little bit. And he was full of it, but I think he strained his tendon for like the 4th time or whatever. And they said, look, Hong Kong's no place to have a horse.
Yeah, it's tough on horses, isn't
rehabbing for a year in a stable or whatever, because there is not much turn.
Right.
So they rang and sort of told me the situation. I said, look, if you can get him to Florida, he can have a forever home.
Right.
With me. And basically, he's here. He's in a field over the road with another buddy at our neighbour's place,
right.
And they get on really, really great. And every time I go from our place to the cross-country field in the golf cart, I stop and give him a few carrots. And
that's awesome.
He looks great. He's still super sound. And actually, his tendons are so straight.
Right.
You wouldn't believe it.
Right. Looks like $1 million.
I wish they were like that all through his career. But so I mean, there's plenty of those stories.
There's stories like that.
That's
everywhere.
just one, but there's plenty of.
But I think that's so important that we put those out there. Like I have every advanced horse that I've had
it's retired.
Is retired on my farm until their last day.
Yeah.
If they aren't, it's only because I found them an even better place to go, and that's probably been 2 that I've had.
Yeah.
I just make sure they're looked after. I think whether they're at our place or not, they get looked after.
Very much so, and I think we do build on that. But there's some time in somewhere in some place that we got to come to the realization that we're not going to make everybody happy. I mean, we just aren't.
No, and I totally agree. Just discussing these topics,
right?
No one has the same opinion. I don't know, but years ago I was the rider rep on the FEI.
I know.
For 6 years, I think I ended up doing two years because no one else would take the job. But anyway, 6 years I was the rider rep, and trying to represent the riders is a nightmare because everyone has their own opinions.
Yep.
You go down one path and some aren't happy and others are happy, but you're never going to keep everyone happy.
I think that's any group of people though.
Yeah.
So thinking about
no one likes change either. So
no, that's for sure.
Change isn't always
but that's all we've had for the last 20 years is change.
Yeah,
well, that's why everybody's so unhappy.
Some might say it's progress.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So thinking about people being happy, here's what I want to know. What is the world tour for Snatch? Where are you guys going next?
Well, COVID really put
put
an end to Snatch fairly well.
So you guys have broken up? Are you going solo?
Snatch is the name of the band that I used to sing. But there's no doubt that we could see the return of Snatch.
Oh,
this sounds like
a movie.
More Snatch.
Right. Awesome.
There's many names for the next world tour.
Oh, I can't wait.
But
if
we need
hypothetically
a couple of venues to come online and actually request it.
If hypothetically it were to happen, do you think there'd be like a Ocala stop? We could have it at WEC maybe.
For sure, in the main arena after
that'd be great.
After the Grand Prix on the Saturday night or something.
Okay, so here's what I want to know then. If this happens, let me rephrase that. When this happens,
You're going to play live on the
We
John and Rick
we
show?
want to have exclusive rights to the interviews after the Ocala leg of the Snatch World Tour. Can we have that?
Absolutely.
Oh, you guys heard it here, guaranteed. We're gonna have the band on. We're gonna have all the Snatch that night.
That'd be great. Just a little snatch.
Yeah. That's great. I hope it happens. I did listen to you guys.
That's a good light-hearted way of pulling us down.
I listened to you. I like to pull the show down. You guys, because you performed at Stableview one year. It was great. We had a good time. Danced, jumped around. I tried to sing, ruined it. It was great.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Did you?
No.
Did we get you up there?
No, you wouldn't let me up there. You're too good for that.
No. I mean, we've had many guest singers.
I can't even do karaoke. It's terrible.
It's pretty funny when you do it.
Oh, it's bad.
I like it when you actually got your yellow shirt. I forgot to bring it. It's at the house.
It's orange.
Whatever color it is.
Yeah.
You wore it at the wedding, and it was like sopping wet. And you
Yeah.
threw it off somewhere.
I could do that. I could be up there. I could be a dancer for Snatch.
That's true.
A bebop girl.
He just needs a
or
pole.
a bebop person.
A bebop.
Being politically correct, it should be a bebop person.
A bebop person.
Yeah.
I would love to be a bebop person for
On a
Snatch.
pole.
That'd be great. Anyway, I think it
On
should
a
happen.
pole?
Whatever it takes, man. I think we should do it. I think I am petitioning for the restart of the world tour for the band.
Well, there you go. I'm up for it. I just got to get the guys in.
All right. How many guys are they?
4 others.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right. That doesn't seem like it should be that tough. Where do they live?
Most of them are in the UK.
That's fine. Bring them over.
They love Florida, though.
Yeah. Let's just have a Florida tour.
John has a pool house.
Yeah. We'll put them up.
Yeah, excellent.
That'd be great.
Well,
all right.
there
It's going to happen.
Snatch in your pool house.
That's right. Perfect. Okay. So we are going to take a break, and then actually we're going to go back out to Chattahoochee Hills. I've got Lillian Hurd-Wood, who is going to have a little chat with us, and we get to meet one of her advanced horses.
Okay, that's cool.
So we'll be right back with that.
All right.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Rick Wallace here, bringing you Equibrew, a live probiotic that is geared to help your horse's gut health. I'm a true believer in this Equibrew, and it really makes a difference in all of my horses. Equibrew is safe, non-toxic, and clean sport compliant for FEI and racing events. Equibrew is an intact fermentation product with very high numbers of beneficial microbes. Order at equibrew.com or 850-879-2649.
Good? Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and I'm very excited to be joined by Lillian Hurd-Wood and Chili. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And also thanks for tolerating my technological idiocy. We did this all a moment ago, and I did a complete interview with Lillian, and none of the sound worked.
It's going to be better the second time.
Yeah, so this is take 2. So we're here at Chattahoochee Hills, and you had a great day with this guy here. So why don't we start with that? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so this was his second advanced. It was show jumping cross country today. Yesterday, dressage. He was great. He got a 31.7, jumped with 2 time penalties, but clear over the jumps, and then awesome cross country.
That's great. And it was no slouch of a course.
It was, I thought it walked like it was going to be tough, but like, okay, it actually rode tough. I mean, not unfair. It rode really, really well, but it was work.
Right.
Good work, but it was work.
Yeah, and so we also, on top of that, had weather.
Yeah, so there was a bit of mud. I think that did kind of play. You know, I didn't slip too much. Because he's a thoroughbred, he has incredible traction. But I did see some other horses slipping, and I some of the problems in the division probably had to do with that.
Right.
But obviously, always when they sink down before a big table, that makes them think, do I really want to do this?
For sure.
And maybe a little bit of what I felt at the takeoffs to the jumps where he was a little shifty was him actually shifting in the footing.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I know just on my
been
3-star and 2-star horse, it was
Yeah, a little bit
pretty
questionable.
wet.
Yeah.
For sure. But that so really he was very good the whole way around.
He was great. I was super impressed. It rode really good. I feel, having done it after, like, it was challenging, and I feel like he answered the challenge as well. So I feel more positive than, say, if the course had been soft.
Sure.
I would have been like, well, it was good, but like, is that really an advanced course? It was a really good track, and because he did it, I feel good about him at the level.
Right. And so you said this was your second run?
Yeah, I did Pine Top. That's my first
And so
one.
what was Pine Top like? Because I know they had a new course designer. It was Jeff Kibbe, right?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
I mean, I loved the courses. They were also challenging. Pine Top's huge. The jumps are big.
Right.
The cross country courses has been one of my favorite cross country courses forever.
Absolutely. That was my first advance I ever did as a
Yeah,
kid.
it's the best. But the courses were beautiful. I mean, even when I walked them, I go, yes, this is a good.
And that's good for Jeff, because those are big shoes to fill coming in
Yes,
for Derek.
I was so impressed. And I will go to that advance no matter where I am.
That's good to hear, because
It's a good track.
I will be honest, I stayed away this year.
Yeah, I think
was like,
I
it's
heard a few
designer,
people
let's see
go,
how it
well,
does.
let's see how it works. It was probably one of the best events I ever run at Pine Top.
Awesome.
It was really good.
That's good to hear. All right, so tell us about this guy. So he is a thoroughbred?
So he's thoroughbred. He was raced. I bought him from someone who got him from Jessica Redmond. So shout out to that. She sourced him, and actually he's got a really funny story. He came to me for sale, and I sold him to his owner now, Steve Berkowitz, as like a horse for Steve.
Right.
And he was a little too much horse. And
Right.
so Steve
Very clever.
called me and said, will you sell him? And I think I had him for 1 week. And I was like, so Steve, I want to buy him from you. I think this horse could be serious. And
Right.
I think everybody thought I was crazy. It was the week before Kentucky.
And how long ago was that?
4 years ago, maybe?
Oh, wow. Okay.
3
So
years?
cool. So you've had him for a while.
Yeah. I thought, what am I doing buying? I don't know. This is crazy.
You can say, what am I doing buying a thoroughbred?
What am I doing buying a
Yeah,
thoroughbred?
that's
Like, what's going to happen? But I came off course today, and I said to my girl that works for me, I only ever want to ride this horse cross country for the rest of my life. Like,
Right.
every horse just needs to be this. Like,
Right.
this is the most incredible feeling.
And it sounds like he does good dressage, and he
Yes.
jumps well.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's like the holy grail.
yeah, there's nothing like it when you have a thoroughbred.
Yes.
that can do
It's
all of it.
incredible.
That's awesome.
And I felt that today. I was so excited.
You can see it. It's good to see you
Yeah.
excited about it. That's awesome. Because you've had some great cross-country horses.
Yes.
But they're always been strong horses.
They're crazy. So like Barnaby, who would jump anything I point him at, and I love that feeling. I also have to tackle the whole, like, I'm going to be completely out of control this whole course.
Right.
And he will jump anything I point him at and slows down exactly when I tell him to. And like,
Awesome.
who does that?
Right.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, you can be aggressive and not
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. So then one thing I want to make sure we get to talk about is, I know you're on the calendar task force,
That's right.
which
Yep.
that is the group that reviews.
Reviewing the new changes to the
Right.
calendar.
And so now, how's that work? It's like every third of the season, you guys?
Yeah, we meet more often than that, but we're supposed to do like official reviews of, and basically like, how is this working? What's the feedback? What needs changing?
So taking that hat off and thinking of yourself just as Lillian, the competitor, it's a new calendar this year. Everything has changed. How's that work?
So I'm definitely struggling with trying to figure out how to navigate the new calendar, which was going to happen no matter what. When you change something, it's difficult to, like, I've gotten to Kentucky a certain way for many years, you
Right.
know? So it's like, well, how do I do this now? I don't think it's impossible. It's really hard to produce horses to like have enough runs for 4 and 5 star horses, probably no matter where you are, maybe unless you're in England.
Right.
So I think there's work to be done with it, but I've heard a lot of complaints. I'm not totally in that camp. Like I think there are some good things that are happening too, but I think there's work to be done, like some changes.
So do you see needing to add stuff to it?
Yeah.
Right.
Or maybe it's really hard. There are so many moving parts, like all the organizers, the people running the events, the people trying to curate this perfect calendar. Like there are a lot of different interests at play, and not everybody's going to just do exactly what me as a 5-star rider wants to prepare for a 5-star. So.
Well, and like the thing I was trying to explain to a friend of mine with all of it, which I'm sure you're aware of, but so that sort of the viewers and listeners understand, is the calendar was created, right?
Right.
With, these are the dates we want.
Right.
And then the events had to basically come into it,
After
an ideal
that,
calendar, and then bid
say
on
if
the
they
weekends.
wanted to do it or not.
Right. So when you say like, well, why don't we have this event with this level? It's like, well, that actually wasn't an option.
Yeah.
And that makes it a little tricky, right?
Yeah. So there's like, it's not just what we want, it's what the events can do or what they're willing to do, and all of it working together. So it's kind of a mess, and it might take
but I think
to work it out.
I will say, and obviously, like you, I wear all these different hats, and I'm the chair of the sport committee.
Yeah.
Which is a very big hat.
Yeah.
And but it was a big job. It was something that the Federation had to do to take on the change and sort of try to keep everybody happy. And in the process of trying to keep everybody happy, you actually made
a lot of people unhappy.
Not happy.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. And I do think, to that point, one thing we should mention is this is obviously Red Hills weekend traditionally.
I know.
And that was a pretty special event.
Yeah,
a very special event. It was
really
a special
sad
event
to
to me.
not
I
have
had
it.
probably my greatest moments at Red Hills and my worst.
Yeah. I could
and
say that about myself too.
Yeah, there you go. And so I do miss that event tremendously.
Yeah.
And this weekend made me think about that a lot.
Yeah, I am so thankful that this chat stepped in to take it, because it's such a relief to have an advanced level at this event, or just this event at all. Is like, it's a really, really cool venue. But it's sad that Red Hills was not able to keep.
Just so cool how the community took it on and did the whole thing.
Yeah, that was the best part about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So back to this guy. You have done 2 advanced now.
2 advanced.
So what's next?
So I've been kind of staying really flexible, not trying to decide. I kind of wanted to see how he ran. I could do a furlong in the spring, but I am always tentative to move up to advance and do a furlong that season. Like sometimes you need to do a year of advance before you do a furlong. I'll probably do a short here shortly.
Yep.
See how that feels.
Do you have an idea where that'll be?
He signed up for Stableview.
Right.
Stableview is pretty tough.
Yep.
I was wondering, maybe I'll do an advanced at Stableview, and then a 4 short at Tryon.
Right.
And then like if I wanted to do a furlong, Bromont is still in the
Sure. And it's late enough, you have some time.
I have time to keep schooling, and I don't want to. I'm trying to. John's being really nice not bringing this up, but I had other horses that didn't go as well this weekend.
You're trying to stay on the positive here, Lillian. What are you doing?
People will probably know because I look at the results, and I'm like, okay, let's not rush. Like basically, like I definitely one of mine. I had problems because I think it needed to be easier than it was.
Right.
And that's on me. Like I needed to feel that and sign her up for a level below.
Well, but to that point, I think that's fair, and not to like step in on top of you here, but again, thinking about there's only so many runs in the season.
Right. You feel like
you can't come here and be like, oh, I'm just not going to run this.
Yeah.
weekend.
Right. You've got to I've got to keep going. But I think it's really also important to say, and this is probably true, like looking at back to the calendar idea, like, how am I going to get there? It's like, well, maybe you don't get there.
Right.
Maybe you get there next time. And now we've got 2 5-stars.
Yep.
So you don't have to get there for Kentucky. You can do it for Maryland. Not that that's not in this case, but I am trying really hard, and it's not really in my nature to like not be in a rush.
Right.
Because it's hard when you think, they only have so many years.
Right.
But I will say this much, because I actually have a horse at the 5-star level that I've had there for a very long time, because he got there very early.
Right.
Getting there early and not doing it very well there's not much point in that.
No, for sure. Did I ever tell you I went to Burley and got a 78 in the dressage?
Exactly.
Yeah, it was not super.
Like, I'm like, maybe I could have taken a little bit more time at the 3 and 4 star level.
Right.
And instead of doing like 12 5-stars, I could have done 6 really well. You know, I mean, I'm glad I did it.
feel like
the
you've
horse
done
was
pretty
awesome.
darn well with that.
It was great, but like, you don't need to do more than 6 5-stars on any horse. I really like. You don't need it.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I'm super impressed.
But that's what I always tell myself. I'm like, just take your time. If you get 2 years at a 5-star level with a horse, like, you have done your job.
Yeah.
If it means you take more time along the way,
well, and it's just
they get
about
there when
when
they're
you're ready to get
14
there.
instead of when they're 10.
Right.
That's okay too.
Yeah.
But I have to tell myself that because I'm like, 4 short next weekend, 4 long the weekend after that. The stars beyond, you know, it's like, slow down, take your time.
For sure.
That's important.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you on this one.
Me too.
It's pretty awesome. Nothing
Yeah.
like a good thoroughbred.
Yes. We're
Good
all
job,
really
buddy.
excited.
Well done. Thank you for taking the time to do this again.
Twice.
Hopefully everything works well and the audio has been awesome. So thank you guys for watching. We had a great show, and we will catch you next time. We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.